Good morning, boys and girls. Okay, let's continue reading our text about how we need a dog park. Okay, so the children are writing a letter to the mayor, hoping to convince him and make him build them a dog park. Now, do you know what's the reason why they want him to build a dog park? It's because they live in apartments and their apartments don't have backyards, so they need a place where their dogs can be playing safely outside and seeing other dogs running around and doing exercise. Okay, let's take a look and continue reading. Look at paragraph 7. Dog, do you think our city could build a dog park? My friends and I could help. We could collect or take in money for the park. We could walk dogs for people. Many people in the city would pay us to do that. Okay, let's take a look again. Now let's look here. It says, do you think our city could build a dog park? My friends and I could help. So they're giving the mayor more reasons, okay, more points, so he can actually be convinced, so he can change his mind. Okay, we could collect. Look at the word collect. Let's underline it. Let's underline the word collect. Okay, we underline the word collect. Do you know what collect means? Let's continue reading. We could collect or take in money for the park. That's right. It means to take in. Okay, that is our clue. It's right here, clue for the. Okay, we could walk dogs for people. Many people in the city would pay us to do that. Okay, because people in the city usually are very busy and don't have time and they're always at work. So they would love someone to take their dogs out and give them a walk. That's why they would also pay them. Okay, let's look at paragraph 8. My family will help too. My dad can build a high fence. My brothers will rake the leaves. I think our neighbors will be helpful too. What does helpful mean? It means full of help. Okay, and here we have too, which means also. Okay. Paragraph 9. Dog parks are good for the neighborhood. What's a neighborhood? Do you know what a neighborhood is? Let's continue reading so we can find out. Dog parks are good for the neighborhood. They are places where people can meet their neighbors. Okay, so a neighborhood, everyone here, is going to be, it's the places where people can meet their neighbors. Okay, so they're talking about neighbors, and a hood is like an area, so places where they can meet. This here is our clue. It's our clue. Okay. Okay, let's just fix that up. That's better. Okay, so that's what they're doing. Now here in paragraph 7, 8, and 9, the little kids are writing to the mayor and they are trying to convince. Okay, so they are here. What are they doing? They are convincing, trying to convince. Okay, trying to convince. Convince, which means to change his mind. To change his mind, trying to convince. Okay, and they are asking politely. It's like a polite request. They're asking nicely. It's a polite request. It's a polite request of them for the mayor to build them a dog park. Now let's look down here. What does this say here? Some dogs just like to lie on the grass and rest in the park. Now this sentence here in the box, do you know what this is called? Do you remember what it's called? We always use it when we're talking about a non-fiction text, when there's a real photo and it's giving us extra information. Yes, right. It's called a caption. Good work. It's called a caption. Okay, let's look at paragraph 10. It says, please respond or write back to me. Let's underline here respond. What do you think respond means? Please respond or write back. So respond here is going to mean write back. Okay, so here this is our clue to respond. That's what respond means. It means to write back. Please, Mr. Mayor, Spot and I are hopeful about getting a dog park. Maybe we could name it the Bark Park. Okay, now let's look here. Do you know what this here is called, Mr. Mayor? This here is called a title. Okay, something, it's like a name. It's a proper noun, and it's a special way of calling someone, telling us what that person is or does for work. It's a polite way of asking. Okay, and here we have hopeful. Hopeful means he is full of hope. Oops. Hopeful. Full of hope. Okay, and this is the ending of the letter. So usually always at the end of a letter we always have a closing. The closing is something like yours truly. Okay, so this is called here a closing of the letter. So before we write our name, before we end the paragraph, before we end the letter, we always put it a closing. And we must always write your name or whoever is writing the letter. And this letter is from Gail. When he writes his name, this part of the letter is called a signature. A signature. This is where you write your name. Okay, now here, please respond or write back to me. Please, Mr. Mayor, Spot and I are hopeful about getting a dog park. Maybe we could name it the Bark Park. Now this here, what he is doing here, he's repeating the request politely. Okay, now let's just do a quick wrap up. Okay, these kids, what do they want to build? They want to make a dog park for their dogs. Okay, they want to make a dog park for their dogs. So they write a letter to the mayor informing him what they want. Okay, so they write in the letter that the city is not a good place for the dogs. Okay, so they need a park for the dogs, so where they can all be safe and they can all follow the rules, and the dogs in the park will have more freedom to do as they like. They also try to convince the mayor, okay, telling him how they can help to make it easier for him to build the dog park. And at the end of the letter, they wrote for him, please respond. Do you remember what respond means? It means to write back, okay? So, hopefully, we'll be able to write a letter on our own next time. Good work, everyone.